album of the week, Pimp Etiquette by
Pimp Etiquette from Atlanta rapper FishXGrits. Now, I just saw that came out today, and I've known about FishXGrits for about a year. It was through, he had a song with Jay Worthy, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has worked with my boys Anthony Danza and All Hail YT, and he has Sharp, from Soft White Underbelly and No Jumper on the album. And he's just talking that pimp shit. He's really in tune with the streets and really in tune with the Mackin and the ism and the game. And I love that, some of that has, as I've gotten older, has become some of my favorite rap music. But on this project, there's a little too much auto-tune. There's a little too much auto-tune to be like true to, I think, that sound that he was going for. And there's nothing wrong with a new school twist to an old school message. But I just feel like there was a little bit too much auto-tune for my taste. And I still do admire the street shit he was talking about in the game he was kicking.
So I just love how much our brains are so similar, because a big thing that I wrote was heavy on the auto-tune. It's not exactly off-putting, but it was just very heavy on the auto-tune. And then I wrote that I'd like to have a conversation with you to find out if auto-tune is just like the normal now.
Yeah.
It seems like there's just, I remember back when like it started being a thing and people like, that's auto-tune, we don't like that, and then now it's just like heavily saturated in most music. And
you know what?
That's just the new norm.
I thought about auto-tune because while I was listening to this FishXGrits album, in the middle of it, I queued up Me and My Drink by Lil Wayne and Short Dog. And I think that's a song that like perfectly uses auto-tune,
Yeah.
But when it's like ketchup, too much of it makes it wet. But like just enough is like perfect.
Right.
And if you go back to the 90s, which is like the golden era of hip hop, it really is that way because that's when you had like really funky beats and then dudes who could really rap or women singing or people just rapping on the track and really like you felt what they were saying, so you go back to All Eyes on Me, and you go back to, Wu-Tang Clan, and you go back on these classic projects, and you hear, okay, like on All Eyes on Me, for example, it's not just Pac spitting. He's got the Outlaws on there. He's got E40 and the Click on there.
Mm-hmm.
There's other vocal talents that are on there. You can even go back to old Atmosphere, and then it's not just Slug, it's Spawn too, So like, I think people back in the 90s played off each other on songs better.
They had that good like back and forth thing.
Exactly.
And that's what I actually like find myself like the more and more I've listened to Suicide Boys.
Yeah.
Thanks to Beat Baux, we're the place to find your new favorite song.
Drop.
But really though,
Beat Baux, baby.
Ever since I think why I like them so much is that they do that back and forth shit that like is like such like a centerpiece to all of like the music that we grew up loving as like hip hop heads. And so
yep.
I think that maybe like a certain like part of like the hip hop music and everything that's being produced, they've become more like self-centered about it. Like it's less of like a group project.
Yeah. There's definitely debates on that. It's definitely groups end up just not working, but you just can't beat a good collaboration. And some of my favorite rap songs of all time are good collaborations. That's why I fuck with Jay Worthy so heavy because he's great with the collaborations.
You know what we don't get a lot for like collaborations anymore is like the male-female kind of dynamic like we used to get.
And I cherish those. That's why, with Thick Karaoke, I've been doing so many of those.
Yeah. We need bring it back, guys. Come on. We like the masculine, feminine.
Yeah.
And, it's nice. So yeah, what I had mostly wrote was also that I wanted to shout out to you for the sensitivity that you portrayed by asking a sex worker if they would be comfortable wanting to talk about pimp etiquette and the topic of the album and stuff. And of course I'm like, shit, yeah, I love hoe culture. Like, let's fucking talk about it. It's part of all of it. It's the story. Like, so you never cease to like impress me with your mindfulness and that you just really care for the community that you're like representing and giving a platform to. So like,
exactly.
you're just such a fucking gem, dude.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a level of sensitivity and a practicality I think we can all learn from. I told you in the beginning, you know, we're going to offend each other in working with each other as friends, as collaborators, as business partners.
Right.
But as long as you're clear about, you know, going to that third rail, you know, whether it's about race or whether it's about sexuality or whether it's about class, I think we're in good shape. You know what I mean?
Oh, we have had so many times where and it's never been like anything like gross feeling or anything. It's just like we naturally are able to communicate like, hey, I didn't like this, or me being a
Yeah.
big baby, like you hurt my feelings, like But I mean, and even like if I'm like, I feel like I can't like, properly speak on like this song,
Yeah.
we just that's I think like people could really learn something from us about communication.
Right. Yeah, we're definitely like, you know, breaking down barriers as far as, you know, different
Not to flex
shows.
or
Not
anything,
to
the
flex or
Gucci's that
anything, but
way.